Lesson 1 B2 English Story Summer by the Lake. The cooler air has made way for warm wafts of summer breeze. The days are longer and people seem happier. The schools have broken up for 6 weeks and it's time to make some plans and memories. Ali and Lawrence recently got together. They met at the gym and both have a keen love for sports and the great outdoors. They'd seen each other at fitness classes for a while and then finally got chatting. Ali loves to go wakeboarding and paddleboarding. She's a real water baby. Lawrence isn't so much of a fan of the water. When he was young, he almost drowned and has been scared ever since. Ali was determined to put an end to his fear. She understood that his phobia of water wasn't irrational, but she also knew that if he could let go of his past trauma, he could learn to love it just as much as she does. Every summer, Ali likes to spend her evenings and weekends off work, travelling around and visiting various country parks and lakes. She likes to review various water sports, and sometimes she even volunteers to help teach young children about water safety and how to have fun in the water. This summer, she wants Lawrence to join her. Lawrence would be lying if he said he wasn't a little apprehensive, but he knows it will be good for him. After all, he can't stay trapped in the past forever. Lawrence's accident was a result of him being silly. He had been to visit his cousins who lived near an amazing swimming pool that had huge slides and a wave machine. He was only 7 and was still learning to swim. He started to show off in front of his cousins just as the wave machine started. As he didn't have his armbands on, he started to panic, and as each big wave came, he dropped under the water. He was kicking and trying to use his arms, but he was going deeper into the water. His cousins could see he was struggling and signalled to a lifeguard, who then pulled him to safety. Lawrence has been afraid of water ever since. In the run-up to Ali's summer plans, Lawrence took a couple of swimming lessons. He felt incredibly anxious, but he managed to relax and he became calmer with each visit to the pool. He had an excellent teacher who put his mind at ease and even got him to dive into the deep end and swim to the bottom of the pool to pick up bricks. Although Lawrence was on edge, he was willing to give some water sports a go, as he knew how much it meant to Ali. The first weekend of the summer break rolled around, and Ali packed up her car. She had her wetsuit, some snacks, sun cream, a picnic blanket, and a couple of towels. She picked Lawrence up and drove him to her favourite country park. She had booked some kayaks for them. Ali knew this would be the perfect first activity to get Lawrence used to the water. They arrived at the park and made their way to the reception. One of the park rangers gave them their kayaks and explained the rules of the lake. Lawrence felt nervous but was put at ease by the ranger, who explained that the water was only waist deep. They clumsily got themselves into their kayaks and used their paddles to push themselves off the water's edge. Lawrence took to kayaking like a duck to water. He had good upper body strength, and so he glided along the lake like a graceful swan. Ali taught him how to turn, and he even practiced climbing in and out of the kayak in the middle of the lake. He could slowly feel his nerves easing. Lawrence slept well after all the exercise at the lake. He woke up the next day eager to go. Ali had planned for them to go back to the lake, but this time they would try wakeboarding. This was a big step for Lawrence, as there was an enormous difference between wakeboarding and kayaking. They arrived at the lake early in the morning, as Ali insisted that Lawrence spend some time in the water. They swam around the lake, and he got used to how the water felt. Ali encouraged him to put his head under the water and get used to the feeling of the water possibly going up his nose or into his ears. Lawrence kept calm, and after an hour, he felt confident enough to give wakeboarding a try. They walked over to the wakeboarding lake, picked up their boards, and made their way to the water's edge. They had to wait until the cable came around to them, at which point they grabbed the cable and took off into the water. His first few attempts were disastrous. Lawrence didn't expect the cable to fly by so quickly. Then, on what he told himself would be his last turn, he grabbed the cable and was then pulled around the lake. He glided on the water. He couldn't believe it. He was wakeboarding. As soon as Ali could see that Lawrence was happy, she took hold of the cable and did some tricks on the water. She was so glad that they could do this together, and that Lawrence was now confident in the water. After an hour or so wakeboarding, they had a picnic and toasted to what would become their summer at the lake. Now, let's go through some of the vocabulary. Cable. Cable. A cable is a set of wires covered by plastic. Confident. Confident. To be confident is to be certain of your abilities or having trust in people or plans. Dive. To dive. To dive is to jump into water, especially with your head or arms going in first, or to move down further into or under the water. Drop. To drop. To drop is to fall or to move to a lower level. Edge. Edge. The edge is the outer or furthest point of something. Grab. To grab. To grab is to take hold of something roughly or quickly. Wave. Wave. A wave is a line of water that rises up on the surface of a sea, lake, or river. Determined. Determined. To be determined is to want to do something very much, and to not allow or let anyone or anything or any difficulties stop you. Drown. To drown. To drown is to die by being underwater and unable to breathe. Eager. Eager. To be eager is to be very enthusiastic about something that will happen. Struggle. To struggle. To struggle is to find something difficult or to use your strength to fight against someone or something. Clumsy. clumsy. A clumsy person often has accidents because they do not behave in a careful or controlled way.